How long does all your gear last?
You can make shafts last. It's just when they get faded and stuff, guys will change the back out. Rigging and gloves, I go through a lot faster than most guys. I'm going to give myself the very best opportunity to win every time. And if your equipment's failing you, I mean, it doesn't matter how good your eyes are. That's a point or two less, and a point or two can be a couple $1,000s. So a couple $1,000s at the end of the year, 2 times a year, that can make up a lot. So I change riggings about 3 times a year. I'll change gloves about every 20 head. If I got a really good lasting glove, I'll put 30 head on it, and then I'll have another one sitting there ready to go.
About how much are riggings and gloves?
A glove is going to cost you about $120, and then you're going to have someone set it up. So that'd be another $50 on top of that. So you're looking at about $180, $200 depending on shipping with the gloves. Riggins, those are $700 a pop.
$700 a pop. You got about 3
usually. All right, so this is the glove. You know, these are the better you can squeeze with them, the better it is. So guys will slit these all over. Slits on the back, slits on the thumb. Most of the time the thumbs are too short, so guys will just cut the ends of them off. Ain't a big deal. You don't have to use it anyway. But as you can see, like this is all built up. There's a great big palm piece in there, and that's benzoin is what we put on it. It hardens it up, and it makes it kind of rock solid. And like our wads of tits right there, that's just a hunk of leather in there that's flat on this side, rounded so you can put it in your rigging better. This is what we call a knuckle tit, and this is more, I've gone to what they call a wedge now. I mean basically like a door wedge. Bigger in the front, farther it goes in, the tighter it gets. And then I got a front tit on there too. That's basically just a little hunk of leather with a lot of pad. Your hand goes through a lot of abuse in this event. I mean, so the more pads you can put in here, the better off you are. Rigging, this is honestly about as plain Jane standard rigging as you can get. I've had success from this when I started. This is a bar stow high lift, and a lot of guys have a lot of different variations. Sometimes this is pushed out way far, sometimes the bodies are shorter, sometimes they're longer, sometimes you won't see this. This is just as old school style rigging as you can get. Made out of rawhide and leather, and it's basically a suitcase handle. And then you build a shelf in there so it catches all these leather wads, and that's pretty much it. There's some shims in here to make it tighter and looser. Like I'm gonna take one out today because it's looser today than it was in Greeley yesterday.
So you bring your toolkit with you everywhere you go.
Toolkit, gear bag. This
thing, it'll change on temperature.
Temperature, humidity. Just it's weird, but it does it. So yeah, and I mean this thing goes through airports with me. I don't let it go through the bag because I'm lefty. And there ain't but 5 of us in the PRC that are lefty. So if they lose this or lose my glove, I'm pretty much done for the day. So this comes on the bag with me.
You bet.
So this is pretty much it. It's tight. That's pretty much it. You're gonna put 1,500-pound animal on the end of your hand. So once these things roll in there, that's in right there.
That's in?
That's in. So I don't run it in very far. Some guys will run it all the way up there. I don't see the point in it because a lot of guys will run their glove up there and wedge it in there, like make a bubble there. I don't like to set them up like that. I think there's too much stuff and you can't squeeze it. I'll pull that front back in there so that's sitting easy on there, so there's no movement when I'm riding. When this comes around, it ain't coming out.
What are 2 things you focus on before you know it?
Before I focus on, mainly, once this is in there, I ask everyone is ready. I'll take a deep breath after I ask everyone they're ready. And I'll get up on it, and I'll make sure my hips are pointed, my toes are cranked out. Now, the main thing that I do is I'll pull my shoulders back. The big thing is being big chested and pulling your shoulders back, because if you leave there, point your shoulders and that, it'll pull your hips out of there. So the more square you stay up top, big and strong up top, the more it'll push through your hips, push your hips back to your rig, drive your feet faster.
You better talk me into getting on one.
It ain't as bad.
It's not that tough though. But you obviously stay physical fit, because it's tough on a body, isn't it?
Yeah, after my first NFR, I took that hugely into consideration. I drew really, really deep out there. I drew full baggage and delta ship and power play. And even last year's NFR, they were still talking about the chicken flip power play made me do. And I wondered after that first year if I really truly belong there. Like I was like, did I make it there on a fluke? Like, do I belong? So I went home and hired a trainer, and you know, I did like T25 and stuff like that before I went there, make sure I was fast and physically fit. But that's like beach body stuff. Like you got to be physically strong. You can't just look the part. You got to be the part. So that made a huge difference. And last year I drew all them horses except for power play throughout the year and rode every single one of them. You know,
Why don't there's not a tougher event out there? 10 head of the rankest horses. There's not, you know, that's a physical beating you take every night.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the best in the world.
Yeah, I mean that's not even like, even if you're riding good, you still just, you get sore.
A lot of power going through.
Yeah, there's a lot of G-force. You know, it'd be kind of neat to figure out what kind of G-force like the eliminator pin is going through your body at the end of your arm, and you still got to make it look pretty.
Do you have a favorite horse that you'd like to draw?
I personally like Top Flight with Colin Pickens. I've been on that horse 5 times now, or 4 times now. I've won a big shootout on him. I've won around at the NFR on him. And every time I've been on him, like the one time I got on him, they missed the flank. It turned out backwards for the first time ever. And I was 88.5 on it. And that horse should flat out do it without anything. And she's just an amazing animal. And all of her, I think I like her so much because all of her colts buck just like her too. You know, she's a phenomenal breeder. She's a phenomenal horse. That's just, and I haven't been on like the Dirty Jacket yet, or a few of them, so I can't say that she's going to beat it. But Top Flight's at the top of my list for a hopper. If I had to say a bucking horse, I'm going to go with Black Cat. That's Butler and Son. That horse bucks. It's about as honest as you can possibly get for a bucking horse. And you can beat. I've been 89 to win the short round of Greeley on him, and win Greeley on him. I won second on him in a round of the finals. All he does is buck straight down the pin. There's nothing dirty about him. He just flat gets it on.
But he can still buck you off.
Oh, he has bucked me off. He bucked me. I was 89 on him one week, had him drawn a week and a half later in Burwell, and he flat took me off.
Is there a bareback horse out there that all the guys are a little scared to get on?
You know, I think when he first did it to Peebles, it was Craig at Midnight. The guys don't understand, like on TV, how he looks. You don't understand the sheer size of that horse until you stand next to him. Like he made, you know, when you walk down the alley for the finals, you walk past all 15 horses that are lined up there. And they're all in their own separate pins, and I had full baggage drawn in my first ever Illuminator pin. And she was pinned next to Craig at Midnight, and it made him look like a Shetland. Like, I mean, he is massive. So, like, I think intimidating wise, I mean, I want to get on the horse. I mean, I don't think the fear thing, because I mean, is a big deal, but you get a little tingle down your spine when you see Craig at Midnight down. I mean, just, you know you're about to get into a dirty dog fight with a giant. And he's a big fire-breathing dragon.
So after 10 days of getting on the best horses in the world, what do you do for the next 3 or 4 days?
Well, actually, my wife's family owns a timeshare down in Cabo, so we go down there for 2 weeks after the finals every year. And that's, you go from literally one extreme to the other.
Ibuprofen and a lot of R&R.
R&R, yeah. Sitting on the beach. The first year I had a torn hamstring after the finals, so I couldn't move. I think the biggest thing I did was fill a water bottle up full of sand for like 3 or 4 hours. That's what I did one day. You know, they really make you work down there.
Well, Tim, I hope you have a great year. You're an outstanding class act, and best of luck to you this year.
Thank you very much.
Hey, this is Casey Jones. We've been working real hard on creating all the content for these last few videos. If you'd help us out, please go to youtube.com, search for Rodeo Sports Promotions, and click on the link subscribe. And if you're already on YouTube, just hit the subscribe button. Thanks.